business page set up, what do you do next? Again, what you have to remember is that NextDoor is a neighborhood helpful app. It's an app that people go to for support locally. Okay, so the more you can engage locally, the better it's going to work for you. The more that people trust you on the app, the more that they're actually likely to use you in real life as well. So one of the first things that you need to do, and this is important not only from the point of view of getting people to start trusting you, but it's also important for the app to start showing your posts properly as well, because you need to have a number of recommendations before the app will actually start pushing out your posts. We'll talk about posts in a moment. The system allows you to do certain posts, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But until you have recommendations, it restricts how far those posts will actually go. And I think it won't put out any of the posts until you have at least one recommendation as well. So easiest way to get recommendations and to spread the word about the app itself is to go to your existing customers. And when I say go to them, you can do this by adding it to your email sequence in Aweber. You could do it by just sending out a standard email to your past customers. You could do it by a phone call. You could do it by a thank you card. But you could send out to existing customers. And of course, what you want to do is identify the customers that are most likely to give you, well, number one, most likely to actually do the thing, and number two, most likely to give you a good review. And then target those particular individuals. In the first instance, you will be asking everybody for a recommendation or a review at some point. But in order to get your app up and running, once you've set up your page, target a number of your best customers, the ones that you know are likely to reply and are likely to give you a good recommendation. And try and get yourself at least 5 recommendations on the app. Now, you can do that by number one, introducing the whole concept of the app to these customers. So past customers that you may have worked with them 6 months ago, you may have worked with them last week. But if you send them, let's say, a card, or you send them an email, it can have the same kind of information on it. Very simply, you know, hi, it's James from Kent Electrics. Just wanted to check, are you using the NextDoor app? And put a link in to the NextDoor app. You'll get a link inside your own membership to spread the word to local people. So you can put that on a card, or you can put that in an email. And if you are, could you give us a review? And if you're not, could you register for it and give us a recommendation on the app? You know, and then you can go into your usual spiel that you would with your GMB, you know, how our business depends on recommendations and so on and so forth. But the aim of this is to try and get you an initial 5 recommendations, so that you get very quickly on NextDoor a good spread for when you actually start to do your posts. Okay, so do what you can to get, and as I said, target people specifically. Think to yourself, who do I know, who from business? And then don't look for fake reviews. Don't ever, in any situation, don't ever look for fake reviews. Don't try and get fake reviews. Get genuine reviews from genuine customers. But you must be able to think of probably 5 to 10 customers that you know who would be able to, or would be willing to, do a recommendation or a review for you on NextDoor. And target those people, and target them with email, cards, and follow-up phone calls if necessary. Or even if you're out and about this week and you've set up your page, every job you finish on, ask them, do they use NextDoor? If they don't, tell them what a fantastic app it is for keeping up to date with what's going on in the local community and blah, blah, blah. And by the way, could you jump in and do a recommendation for me? Get yourself at least 5 recommendations to start with. Then you can add the generic emails into your follow-up email sequences, so that you can ask people on a regular basis to do recommendations for you on NextDoor. Hopefully this is making sense, guys. Let me see some thumbs, hearts, and smiley faces. If it is, I'm going to have another sip of my coffee. Right, okay, so next important thing, and this is probably slightly out of step, but next important thing is, once you've set up the business page, although you still have a personal profile, when you're replying to people on NextDoor, always endeavor to reply as your business. Obviously, for, from marketing perspective, that's going to get you a better spread than replying as yourself. So again, like, on Facebook, you have the opportunity when you set up a business page, you can interact as yourself, which is your personal profile, or you can interact as your business. Again, the recommendation is that you interact as your business because it gives you a better spread when you are dealing with business things. Now, on Facebook, you got that slight separation as well, where on Facebook, all you want to do is keep your friends and your family on your profile, but you want your business to your business page. NextDoor, slightly different. You are interacting with people in the local community, so you don't need to switch back and forth between your personal profile and your business profile. Interact as your business profile because that's what you're there for, and that's what's going to give you the bigger spread. Now, it doesn't mean you have to be all business about stuff. It doesn't mean you have to talk about business. You can interact personally on the page. You can respond to people, and we'll talk about that in a second. But you can respond to people, answering queries, answering questions, talking about things that are going on in the neighborhood, but do it under your business profile to give your profile the best exposure that you can actually get. Again, guys, if this is making sense, then please make sure that you let me know. If there's any penny drop moments, of course, here, the usual applies, hashtag penny drop. By the way, if you're watching this on replay, please do hashtag replay as well if you're watching this back. And if you have any questions at all this morning, or if you're watching on replay, then hashtag question, and I will do what I can to answer your questions. Right, so that's replying as your business. Next thing is, once you have created your business profile or your business page, you are allowed to post on the platform. Now, as it stands at the moment, you get to post twice a month on your page. And again, all the rules of posting still apply here. Make sure that you use the IEE principle. If you don't know what that is, go back and watch some of the older Toolbox videos, but it's about posting stuff that's interesting, educational, and entertaining. So don't always bore people with just work-related stuff when you're doing your post. Again, think about your ideal customer. Think about what your ideal customer is talking about, what they're looking at, what they're interested in when you're doing your post, but also make sure you have a call to action of some description on your post as well. So all of the rules of posting are the same. However, you're limited to 2 posts on your page. You can do 2 posts a month. Now, things change if you start to do paid advertising and sponsorships and all that kind of stuff, but you get 2 free posts per month on the app. Make sure you make the best use of them. And it is a very engaging app as well. If you're doing the right kind of post, because it's hyper local, then it is literally people within your area that are going to see it. Now, you can adjust that when you do your post. So let's have a look at what a typical post setup looks like. So when you go in, you're presented with a page like this. So you get an opportunity to put a title to the post, stick some details into the post, and add an image or two to the post as well. So you can add some photographs to your post also to get attention. So you'll give it a name, you'll give it you pop the details in. Make sure within the details that you are you are putting in a call to action. Make sure you are considering what you're saying as well, because you have a limited word count in there as well. Once you create your post, it will look something like that. Once your post has been posted, you are then given an opportunity to say how far you want the post to be seen. Now, at the moment, it's set to a maximum of 2 miles, but when you set up your post, it will only be doing your neighborhood. You need to drag that the lever along, the slider along, to get the maximum out of it. And the maximum you will get for the freebie is 2 miles. So pull that across. And then once you've done that, it will show you all of the local neighborhoods. And that in your case is the postcodes, all of the local areas that your business post will be seen in. Now, these business posts are shown on the timeline of people in your local community and people and the area that you select on that slider. So it's shown on their timeline, but also it will be sent out as a post as an update, an email update for those people who've opted in for email updates. It will be shown as an email update on the emails that are sent out as well. So the more engaging you make that post, the better it is for you and for your business. Once you've got it all set up and you understand that you can post to it, that's great. What can you do next? Now you can start using the paid platform as well. And again, you've got to have a number of reviews before it will start pushing out that. So you can create local deals. Now, the interesting thing about NextDoor and local deals is that they can be a hell of a lot more effective than Facebook, but also a lot cheaper, not only than Facebook, but than any other sort of online platform. You can start doing local deals from as little as £1 and get a really good result off of the back of it. But remember, it is key to remember that it is a social app. And if all you are doing is setting up a business page and all you are doing is advertising, then it is likely to go the opposite way for you. So what you need to do is be that helpful guy. You know how we talk about on Facebook, when you go into groups, you don't just go, hi, I'm the electrician, use my service, buy my shit, buy my shit, buy my shit. Don't do that. Very same as we say on Facebook, very same as we say on Google My Business, but on NextDoor, be the guy who goes in and is helpful. Be the guy who can recommend, you know, when somebody's looking for a window cleaner, or somebody's looking for a plumber, somebody's looking for a gardener, be that guy who's able to be helpful. If you're using a VA, if you have a VA, have them monitor it so that you don't have to keep monitoring it. Have them monitor it so that when stuff comes up, you can go in and reply, or they can go in and reply on your behalf. But be the helpful guy, be the neighborhood guy who has advice about what's going on in the local area, who knows where, you know, roadworks are happening, who understands what the situation is, I don't know, with the bin collections. When a new person moves into the neighborhood and say, oh, what day do the recycling get picked up? Be the one to go in and answer. You know, be the one to go in and answer. When somebody says, I'm looking for somebody to do some plumbing, be the guy to go in and answer. And when somebody has an electrical issue, don't be the guy who jumps in and goes, oh, I'm an electrician, I can come around and give you a quote for that. Be the guy who tries to be helpful first. Can I advise you over the post? Can I advise you? Can I give you some tips and advice? Can I help you out rather than can I sell you something? Because eventually what will happen is they will come to you when they need you anyway. So, you know, when somebody says, oh, my lights aren't working, instead of going, oh, I can pop around and give you a quote for that, or I can pop around and sort that out for you, be the guy who says, well, have you checked this? Have you checked that? And then people will see you as being helpful rather than being salesy, and they will trust you more for that. But more than the work stuff, get involved in the other stuff as well. When people are talking about the neighborhood, and they're talking about the security, and they're talking about the bin collections, and they're talking about the road works, get involved, interact, create posts for that as well. Respond to people who are posting and querying stuff like that as well, because all of that will see you as being interactive and caring about your local neighborhood. People will be more inclined to use your service the more they know that you exist on the app, the more that they trust you on the app, and the less you're actually trying to sell shit to them all of the time. Now, you also, and this is another really good feature of NextDoor, very similar to Face Group, you also have an opportunity to set up a group. And I suggest you do. Set up a local group. Now, when you set up a local group, don't make it a local group all about your business. Make it a local group about something that your ideal customer is interested in. So, for example, if it is work related, if your ideal customer is interested in DIY, then set up a local neighborhood DIY group, where in that group you give tips, silly tips like, you know, how to, I don't know, buy the right fucking drill, or how to cut a piece of timber, or how to run a chase down a wall. But, you know, set up a group that serves your ideal customer. If it's a group, if your ideal customer are people in your local area who enjoy classic cars, set up a group about classic cars. If it's a people who are particularly concerned about security, set up a group about security. But set up a group, not necessarily, it will be selling your service, but not necessarily that directly says, this is James DeWarn as Kent Electrics setting up a group just for customers. Right? Set up a group that's going to get interaction. It could be a walkers group. It could be a I don't know, a chess group, but set up a group in NextDoor that you can actually corral people. Remember, these are all going to be local people anyway, because it is NextDoor and because it's postcode related and everything. So they're all going to be local people anyway, and it will only be local people. So, you know, make sure then that you fine tune it down from local people down to your ideal customer. What's your ideal customer interested in? When you've really ironed that out, set up a group that serves that. And it may very well be DIY, it may be money saving tips, it may be neighborhood updates, it could be a historical thing, it could be a walking group, but set something up that appeals to your ideal customer.